I see things from both sides. It's not really good when I'm trying to win an argument because I can see the other person's side. So when we speak about localism, as I'm going to today, I'm going to see it from both sides. Welcome back. I'm Brad Jacobson, and today I'm throwing out that question, the age-old question: is localism bad for surfing? Most of you probably all know what localism is, even if you don't surf. But basically, localism is any group of surfers who live close to a surf spot, surf it a lot, and basically claim that wave. And when I say claim that wave, it's just basically saying, hey, look, if you don't live here, don't surf here. If you do surf here, respect us, give us the best waves, etc., and we'll respect you back by allowing you to come out, maybe catch some of the inside waves, etc. Localism isn't really seen in any other sport. There's no other sport where you're relying solely on the wave or whatever it is that you're riding. If you're snowboarding, let's say, you're the mountain's there. Everyone's going to ride down that thing. But with a wave, there's only so many waves there. And with the overpopulation, the overcrowdedness of surfing the way it is now, especially with how crowded it's becoming after COVID, it's hard to get away by yourself at almost any beach in Southern California. Now, I can mainly speak to Southern California because that's where I live, that's where I film, that's where I produce all my episodes. But I see it through social media all over the world. It's nothing new. Localism didn't start in the 80s. It started way back basically when surfing began. There were certain areas that were just privileged that no one else could surf. So I'm not going to go into the history of it right now. So this is me asking you guys what you think. I'm going to kind of give you my 2 cents. For whatever that's worth, 2 cents probably. I want to see in your comments where you stand on localism. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? From my point of view, I understand both sides, like I mentioned in the beginning there. When you're looking at both sides, I'll start off with the local side, right? Just to knock that out of the way. A lot of you people are saying there's absolutely no reason to have localism. Once again, like I said before, I can see both sides, so I understand the local side. I live in the Los Angeles area, and there is a lot of localized spots here. Spots I don't shoot out of respect for those guys. I understand the local side. I understand localism because in an area like the South Bay region of Los Angeles, we have El Porto, which is a madhouse. It is just person on person. If you've seen my videos, I've mentioned that a lot, how crazy it gets at Porto. Just south of us, there's another spot that's heavily localized. They'll throw rocks at your car, etc. If you even go there to just look, you're gonna get harassed, and it's in the news and everything else. So at first you're thinking, it's not your ocean. You don't own it. How can you localize it? And then at the same time, if you live in a beautiful area and you don't want it to get like El Porto, where there's people everywhere, a crowded lineup is hard. You're not going to catch waves. If you do catch waves, someone's going to drop in on you, etc. It gets very aggravating. It's also dangerous. Surfing can be very dangerous, especially when you get novices and beginners out there. These are fiberglass boards. If someone's on a longboard, 9-foot board, that thing flying through the air is trouble. So if you lived in a beautiful private area and you had all of a sudden this influx of surfers coming in there, you wouldn't feel good about that. Are you going to throw rocks at somebody? Are you going to pop their tires? Are you going to wax their windows? Probably not. And along with the overcrowded of people, now comes pollution. Unfortunately, people leave a lot of stuff, a lot of plastics, etc. on the beach. And when you get more people, you're going to get more trash at your beloved beach. So on that aspect of it, I understand the localism side. And I know a lot of people might just think, well, it's a Southern California thing because especially in LA, we're all the typical LA people who want to say, this is mine, you can't have it, we're very selfish. But localism is heavy everywhere. Oregon, which, you think of Oregon people as laid back, that's one of the most heavily localized spots there are. Anywhere north of San Francisco is generally heavy localized. So I don't necessarily want to say it's an LA thing. Hawaiians obviously do it. And it's more about protecting your home. On the other side of it, you have the anti-localism side, which would be more about, you don't own the ocean. Why bring violence into something? A lot of times localism leads to violence. And share, we're a human nature. We should be kind to everybody, no matter where you're from, no matter how good you are or bad you are, etc. So on the, I'm going to call it anti-localism side, is understandable as well, right? Peace, love, happiness, sharing, love everyone the same. It's kind of this torn in between thing. And I think what a lot of beginner surfers, a lot of novice surfers don't understand about surfing itself is that there is more respect requested in surfing. So if you don't know how to surf, it's not polite to paddle right out to the main peak, sit there while these guys have been waiting for waves, and then you just go, you just surf on a wave. So I think there's this thin line between it being right and wrong. I think if surfers as a whole understood how the sport worked, it's not snowboarding. You don't just go down the hill whenever you're ready. There's only one wave, or there's only a set of waves that come in. And some people have been waiting out there for a long time. One of the things also on the localism side that I do understand is that if you surf that spot, we'll call it spot X. Let's say you surf it almost daily, right? Every day of the year. And then all of a sudden it gets really good. And you're like, great, I finally get my local spot really good, overhead or barreling or whatever it is that you love. And then bam, there's thousands of people out there. So you've put your time into that spot, into understanding it, and the wave knowledge comes into it. I'm not going to get into all that. But now you have good waves, and it's a zoo. There's people dropping in on you. There's people paddling out on you. So it is understandable from that side. The true locals at a spot will surf it every day almost. Or every time they want to go surfing, they kind of stay to their own brave. So that happy medium in between is what I'm just going to call respect or understanding. And you may say, well, respect, that sounds like a very, mobster way of doing things, right? You always respected the mobster. Is that what you're saying surfing is? I'm not saying it's that. It's respect and understand that surfing can be a dangerous sport in that it's not all Gidget, what you see on the TV. It can get dangerous. Your board can fly. Your board has fiberglass. Your board has fins. It's pointy on the nose if you're on a short board. So if the beginners understood how surfing works, yeah, it would make everything a lot better. Lineups would be a lot more friendly, etc. But at the same time, you can almost turn it to the locals and say, hey, look, instead of just resorting to throwing rocks at a guy once they park, maybe we teach them I don't want to say rules. I'm trying to think of the right word for this, but maybe we teach them about surfing, and how it can be dangerous. And if somebody's waiting in the lineup for a wave, there's almost a line, let them get their waves. Don't just paddle out and catch the very first wave. So there's that whole etiquette, the surf etiquette side of it that comes into play. And I think that if everybody understood surf etiquette, then the lineup would be a lot happier place. There wouldn't be these yelling, screaming, get out, go back to the beach, go back to the valley. I think it would clarify a lot of stuff and maybe make it a little bit better. I don't know. That's why I'm making this video. I want to know. When you talk to the older crowd, guys my age and older, they go, oh, back in the day, localism was a lot worse. It was a lot more violent. And I tend to agree with that just because of my age and what I've seen. But at the same time, I feel like more spots have become localized or watched over simply because of the crowds. So maybe they're not as violent, but they're definitely going to snap at you at more spots than what we used to have. I know this wasn't my happiest episode I've done, but I felt like it needed to be clarified. What is localizing doing to the sport of surfing? So hopefully you comment below. Let me know how you feel. And hey, once again, thanks for watching. I'm Brad Jacobson, and I'll see you on the sand.